When I was,
Have some antibodies.
Yeah, and no cell.
And then we didn't have to-
during legal, at my age.
Yeah.
Somebody should use study.
Let's turn around.
We're the kids that had it either 3 times or. So it's like- All right, at 4 o'clock. That clock say 4 o'clock. All right. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call. Here is.
Here.
Here.
Okay. Motion, I find the motion to agenda, to approve the agenda and the minutes. Am I allowed to do that?
Pardon?
Can I combine the motion to approve the agenda and the minutes in the same motion?
Just without objection.
Okay. All right, without objection, I'll take the approval of the agenda and then approve the November 18th, 2021 minutes.
So move.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
thank you, Stu.
Any public comments on agenda items? No? Okay. I have no chairperson comments. Okay. Potential naming convention for the unnamed park voting.
All right, so last year on Facebook, village Facebook page, we did an initial survey to get some proposed names. Came back with 11 for Chief Bubbles.
Balls.
Set 17 votes for Triangle, 1 for a Miss Joan Palin, who's a resident, 1 for a Miss Amortowski, who's a village employee, I guess, at one time. 1 for the first constable, Arnold Driscoll, 1 for a Jefferson Park, and 1 for Central Park. That was the Facebook initial query. What we then did is created a Survey Monkey. That's what's in your packets. Basically, Blue Balls, Triangle, Driscoll, and Central Park were the ones that I had a special call out for. Because of the wording of the Facebook posts for the Amortowski and Jefferson Park, it was more of a, just throwing it out there. It wasn't an official, I vote for this. So I didn't include them in the Survey Monkey. So you had 4, if you look at your packet, you had 4 names that were specifically mentioned. We had 77 people that conducted the survey. So we had Chief got 12 yeses. Triangle got 52. Village Constable Driscoll got 0. And Central Park got 8. Then I did add a column of miscellaneous. Do you have any new names additions? We did have those, if you look at the screen. So I can show you in full transparency. We had 1 said Church Park. Had a lot of Joe Terry Parks for some interesting reason. So a bunch of those. Comment here like, I like Blue Balls and Driscoll, but how about make it a law enforcement police memorial park or something like that? So that's an interesting one. I see a bunch of continuing Joe Terry ones. Had a Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Johnson Memorial Park. Had a combo here, Blue Balls Triangle Park. There you go. Had a Lester Emerson long-term park employee, a Jim Schumerman Park, a Moses Verbunker Park. So these were just individual responses. Now, you could have voted for one of the top 4 and added. So these are not in addition to. These are people that basically voted for one and then dropped down and put a fill in the blank name. So just to give you a sense, got a Scott Drew Park here. I think that when I checked the email, that came from Scott Drew. So, so
He only entered 1. though.
yeah. So that's the responses. Again, 77. I think as of today was 78 actually. So there's 1 new vote in there. The numbers I gave you. So that's where we stand on the public input. I don't see us getting more. I don't know if you all want to expand it by adding some of these names and see where the votes go. I am able, with Survey Monkey, I am able to see where the emails come from. And for some of the fill in the blanks, it's the same email. So I wouldn't put too much faith into some of the fill-ins.
It'd be different
Because-
if if it was a lot of people.
You're exactly right. And that's why that function is available.
Thank
So,
you for distinguishing the
so
difference.
there are a bunch in the fill in the blank responses that came from the same person's email, repeating votes. So that's fine. We didn't really clarify that, but you're able to do that, more than one vote. So that's where we stand. I think at a minimum, if you guys want to select a name, we can go that route. If you want to put it back out to the public for more and refine it to just the top three, which I think right now is Bubbles, Triangle. Well, I think that's the top two. And Triangle did win. I think everyone's very comfortable with the Triangle part. They've been always called Triangle Park. You know, I think we can internally within the park name, put a plaque up, put trees up with names. So there's a way to place names over time, not now, but over time. If we don't want to get away from the norm of just naming a Triangle Park. I just leave it up to y'all's pleasure, what you want to do.
President?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's always been Triangle Park. I'm just kind of off record here, just a little bit glad that we had 8 people vote for Central Park because Jim Zerflu, that was a longtime parks guy, and a few other, the old timers, you know, we used to call it that. Based on the late 70s, early 80s, there's a lot of problems in New York with Central Park, and that's why we said, well, we have one of those. But back to the seriousness about it, people have called it Triangle Park forever. And by the amount of votes here, I mean, 88%. What was the total number again?
Yeah, for Triangle.
No, for a total. vote.
78 people voted, and out of the 78, 52 said Triangle.
So if it pleases the chair, I mean, I would just like to make the motion that we do what people have been calling that place forever as a motion.
Is a motion. Okay, there's a motion on the table.
I would second that. I think it's, what can I comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I thought it was really difficult to look at the names and pick one that ranked above another one. So I would rather go with what it's been called, and I think that's a good name for it, and it's more neutral, and yeah. So
Exactly.
I think there's a way we can add over time, if people want to dedicate playground equipment, something, we can slap a bench like we always do.
There's a bench there now with a name on it.
Yeah, there you go. So we can,
Mrs. Timbers is there and right now.
so we can continue that. The only person in all our voting that actually offered that they would plant some trees and a plaque came from the Wisco
Wisco tree
guy.
team, yeah, Beaver.
So that's the only one that, you know, we could pick Triangle, and I could reapproach him. He says, if you want to honor Mr. Chief, then plant a tree, stick a plaque, you pay for it. We can do that.
You know, the situation, a lot of those people, like many years ago, Bob Love lived on that corner since the late 30s, early 40s, you know, and you really, by that openness, the people that live around there have pretty strong opinion what they really like to, if anything, go up in there. So if they ever do this future stuff like the timbers bench and stuff like that, it's always good to, you know, keep those people in mind, so to speak.
Did we get a motion? We got a motion in
We
a
got a
second
motion
for
and a
Triangle
second.
Park.
We were discussing, I guess, I don't really have I don't have a preference because I don't feel like I've lived here long enough. I
Oh, yeah.
didn't know that it was even called I didn't even know the thing was called.
Well, I didn't know that.
But clearly
either.
there's some strong feelings about the park. So I guess, yeah, all in favor, I guess.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. All right, Triangle Park it is.
All right, and moving into this summer and spring, a simple, nothing compared to a Ripple Creek signage. We will place signs a simple blue sign, kind of like we do for the parks that don't have a designator. We have.
Everything's got names.
This one's got a name
Yep,
also.
that's Alexander Park.
It has a name, but not a sign.
Yep, there's a sign on the front, right by the,
But splash pad?
yep, by the,
You're right,
we put the
you're
sign for the
right. Yeah, yeah,
splash pad and it says
Yeah.
Alexander
yeah.
Park.
Yeah.
You gotta get out more about it.
Then the
I
other
do,
one,
yeah.
Ripple's got the brown sign where you go in.
Having
and
the
then
dinosaur part of it.
North Park has one because that is actually our old Albee Park. There's a big sign by Roland Albee.
Well, then we're good. So this will be the last one. We'll stick a sign on it. We'll be done. Everything's like,
Official.
Called the Purple Dinosaur Park.
yeah, we won't touch that.
Alright. Discussion and possible action on village dedication of a tree and plaque for trustee John Baker.
So talked to Ben already. Trees are available. We can get one part of our regular annual planting. That's not a problem. There'd be no, exorbitant cost to the village. Same with the plaque. We can do that within village budget. I guess just need your guidance on what location would you be interested in us pursuing.
Where?
What could be in any part.
Yeah.
Right.
Could be in our right of
I
way
was gonna say,
here.
do we put it, oh, here?
Yeah, you have a couple in the front already from other individuals that donated. You have all our parks availability. We don't have any dedicated in the cemetery.
No, I mean, the parks that put a plaque, it's gonna disappear. I mean, we've tried this
Sure.
before. It's not gonna make it. So to be honest with you, the best thing is the cemetery, since we did cut some trees down there. Or we look at a location down here.
Since it's political in the good sense of the term, and he died while being an active member of the board, I had never thought of this, but I think it's a great idea if we could somehow, my opinion, honor John down here because this is where he came to do his official business.
Yeah,
An opportunity along here or even our little side area.
over here. I would agree with that. I do it in the cemetery. He was buried there, but he's not. He's in the mausoleum, isn't he?
No, I agree 100%. This down here, we have the Brian Clender, the lion, we did the Brian Clender tree down here downtown already. Just because at that point we were planting trees. I mean, this is full unless you take a tree that we've already planted and put a plaque by it. And if you look over here, you'd almost have to remove a tree.
Oh, is there any?
You have to remove a tree to put a tree over here in that little park we have there. That would be the only, there's no room over there right now to put any more trees.
Anything the village owns near his house.
Well,
Yeah.
The Alexander House, but not, we have the point up there, but that point's got oaks on it.
Yeah.
There's really not, oaks on the point by that water.
oh,
Thought about that.
And we've done a good job, and that was Ben Jarrett's big push the last 2 years to fill the parks with trees. So unfortunately, we have put a bunch of trees in there. I mean, that's something, we can look when Jarrett's, we normally do in February, we drive around, he looks for spots to put trees. I mean, obviously he's aware of the situation already. I've told him, so maybe we could see if Jarrett's has a recommendation of a spot to put a tree somewhere too.
yeah, I guess.
I can say,
We
you
have
guys,
trees out here that are unnamed. though.
yeah, we could put a plaque by one of these trees
Yeah,
out
so we do
here.
have existing
So we can-
trees.
So we
We
can
just
dedicate
put
one
plaque.
then.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Clender's in the right, there's a tree to the left of Brian. Those
What's
are
in the middle?
Brian's. You have two trees in the middle, you have the Brian Clender tree that the Lions paid for, and then there's a tree next door. And we're flowering, kind of flowering tree, but white flowers on it.
Existing tree, we just present a plaque and have a ceremony. If this is where you want it. If not, like I said, we can just, in the spring, go around the park and see the recommended areas.
The plaque's been here for a year and a half. It's been safe. I mean, nobody messes with the plaque in front of the police department or municipal building.
I guess Sue, Joe, what are your thoughts on just taking one of those ones or?
Yeah, I guess maybe, sure, why not dedicate it, we can that makes it special, so I think that works.
Joe, your feelings on it?
Oh, no, I mean, there's two trees there already named, but it's just the thing that when you start doing things like this, the foresight is, do we really want to put pavilion trees, you know, here? I mean, it's right, I hope you know what I'm trying, not
Yeah, I mean,
not making their death any less, but John was a public servant, you know, and he died in office. And so you like to keep a little space around your, you know, it's like lowering the flag, you know, I mean, the only civilians you really lower a flag for are president or governor, you know, and stuff like that. So I think in the future now, especially too, I think that should be the foresight, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, I just think it's down here, you know, and wherever.
So do we have any room to plant a tree over here?
Not really with the flower beds there. I mean, we could,
Oh, far.
it's kind of, you know, one in each end of flower, I mean, that's pretty,
Could be packed, especially when they start getting bigger.
I'm just saying, like, I see an opening right there. That's all.
well, there's a tree right out the window,
Just kidding.
sorry.
Clearly,
One of the crabs on the end are questionable. I mean, not saying we could, but there's a crab tree on the end that's questionable. We could. If it's questionable with the bugs, I could see if Jairus wants to remove it and plant another crab tree on the end of it. I mean, we could, there's some trees that have been there forever that aren't the greatest shape. We could replace with. I mean, there is that possibility. If you guys are set on downtown, we want to plant a tree, we can probably figure out if there's a tree that's dying. I mean, trees down here get full of salt and stuff, so it's a tough sledding down here.
So Joe, is that what you were saying? You want us to plant one, not just designate?
Well, that was
Yeah.
my
That's kind
original
of
thought.
what you're, okay.
You know, yeah, I came down here today to get a laptop, but it didn't work out. But when I opened the thing, out fell John Bingham's password, because this is I mean,
I gave you
you
his
talk
computer,
about,
sorry.
yeah, it's just kind of like, is somebody trying to tell you something, you know what I mean? And,
But
well,
you're-
anyway,
If you don't mind, you're more questioning the process to designate donated trees. Because did that, I don't remember that going through the
Clunders
process.
is-
Clutter does board approval, that was before you.
Gotcha, okay.
The Lions,
So I was like,
the Lions come here and said they want to buy a tree, they paid for it, and
okay, so I agree with you. That should be, if it's on village property, we should, this is the governing body for.
I guess it's protocol.
I agree with
Why do
that.
we do things? You know
That's
what I
fine.
mean?
I think honor, what was this individual here? Is honored from the Lions?
the Lions.
No
they-
problem.
Yeah.
All right, guidance is downtown. We'll find the place and we'll see what makes work and we'll report back to you come springtime. If that's what you want.
Yeah, I was just gonna say something similar. I think it's a little early to take this to the board. Maybe we kick it around one more meeting because we get closer to spring. Or do you want? this-
Sure, I don't need a motion, just, we just need guidance. to
I'll have
tell us-
Jairus look at it, and for February, we'll come back, put it on the minutes for February, we'll have a spot, and an idea for you guys to vote on. in
Yeah.
February.
Perfect. Yes, yeah, my preference would be plant one. And, yeah, down here is probably the best spot for it.
We'll make that happen.
Thank you. All right, old business. I don't have anything. Old business.
Covered.
We have a question on. New business. Okay, new business. Moving on.
Yeah, the only thing we submitted the legacy, part 2 of the legacy grant for the River Walk was it's due tomorrow. We submitted that this week with, again, it's only about a 3-page submission, nothing crazy. Jewel Engineering is providing the documents that will show the River Walk, their side of it. And we have a design of what it would look like from the statue into our park network, our trail network. So again, Riverwalk is along Mill Pond, along the river, ties into the backside of Filtration Road. And where it dead ends there, using the village road, we would have in the road marking the paint of the bike trail to continue to Nakusa. That's the south side. You can ride up to the park, to the statue, and then from the statue, using a network of sidewalks that will be enlarged. South side of, the north side of Edwards Avenue, we basically enlarge those sidewalks another foot or so. So it's an appropriate trail. you'll still cross streets, but you'll be able to walk or ride a bike from the statue along Edwards north side till Fourth,
Yep.
till Fourth, and then at Fourth, we'll take a right. And there, that roadway using the shoulder will be increased a few feet. So then you will just ride up Fourth, and then you will basically connect on the front side of the fire department here. You'll connect to the trail network. So we're not gonna get rid of the trail on that side, that'll still be open. But you'll have now an ability to connect from the kiosk over there. You'll ride down on the safe path. You'll be able to connect to the Riverwalk. And that's the connection up to our network that Legacy really appreciates. That's why they really picked us to think, because it's not a standalone thing there.
Who named Old Highway 73 filtration?
I
Oh, my goodness. You want to know what we called it in the old days?
can imagine.
Anything we call
You
it?
hit the nail on the head,
Yes,
Bob.
I can imagine. So that project gone, we'll hear back from Legacy of if they need anything more. The next briefing will be in the March timeframe to Legacy.
Well, thanks for your work on that. So now I can feel safer that Mr. Edwards is still going to be there.
We'll still be there, and part of this project is to spruce up that area a little bit with lighting and so on. So that's what Jewel is working on, that side of it. So, yeah.
Anything else for new business from you guys? I guess my question is, I know you did the monthly events calendar. Obviously, there's not a
Yes.
whole lot going on right now. Could we, this is the hard part though, just whether, could we have like a meet at Ripple Creek Day where like you can bring your ice skates, bring your tubing stuff? put on the
Yeah,
table?
no, I can build one for February onward, a couple months. Yeah, I can do that. So you want a skating event, skating day or something? All right.
I want you to go ice skating.
I'm gonna put the tutu
Not
on.
unless I have a hockey skit and pads on. That's the last time I was standing in front of them.
Something.
Yep,
community
we can do
like
that,
in the,
yeah.
Winter, now that we've hopefully passed
Something
our
those old
whole.
guys shouldn't do with ice skating
Okay.
anymore.
And it won't be water.
Right, like, before we fall through. Okay. All right, anything else from anybody?
Something I'd like you to add to the next month's agenda is, just to discuss and talk about expectations of the park from the committee, expectations of the parks from the committee. And every year we talk about how much we're gonna mow or clean up the disc golf course. You know, we spend a fair amount of money, I've discussed before, about killing the weeds, obsessed weeds, the things we have there. You know, I mean, as we talk every year, this time it's okay, we go to budget time, you know, we talk about cutting things, but we have to figure out is our expectation to make sure there is no dandelions in the parks. There's no dangerous weeds that are growing. We had the creeping Charlie at Ripple, the cemetery. I mean, that's stuff that is a great, but is that something that is expected? This, we should have a quick discussion on your expectations in the park. I mean, that does make a difference moving forward every summer, how much time we're gonna spend in the park. And, you know, as we keep adding kayak inlets, where we add the dog park, I mean, that's all adding more labor to the parks, I mean, which is fine. We just, as we move forward, you know, your expectations. I think we've moved a lot of it towards the splash pad over the years, you know, because that's kind of been the big park. We've got the grass there, people go there. We have the rental, the shelter rental,
Mhm.
you know, Ripple Creek, we have the baseball fields. After that, it's kind of a, you know, the rest of the park, you know, what's everybody's expectations?
So you're kind of looking for
The priorities.
time management.
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing is great. I haven't heard any complaints, people the same, but I've also had the next person that says, you know, why can't the grass be just as nice at the splash pad Ripple Creek? Why aren't we watering at Ripple Creek? You know, I mean, just, you know, we kind of just need to, I mean, everybody's always has ideas, but in the back, we have to just have an expectation of what we're gonna put in the parks.
Good point.
Do we need to look at that as a cost benefit kind of too? I mean.
I think
do
at this
you feel
point,
that
yeah.
pinch?
I think the biggest thing is, as a committee, I mean, we do have a parks committee now, I mean, back and forth, I mean, what's the expectation for you guys in the summer? I mean, is your expectation to go to the parks if you're a committee? I mean, the grass is gonna be cut once a week, we're gonna weed whack every other week, the garbage are gonna be picked up. I mean, if there's a dandelion there, are we okay with it? You know, do you want the park, with the park equipment, we've been discussed it. Do we expect the park equipment to be, 50% quality? I mean, do we expect it to be at 100%? How moving forward, and we want to plan this every year, we get a budget this $5,000-$10,000. Well, how are we going to move forward with that small amount of money to keep maintaining them at a high quality that you guys are looking for? I mean, we got the quote for the park and it was $30,000 to rebuild the equipment. So do we want to look at putting 5 at that in a few years? We want to say, hey, we're going to let this, keep that equipment the best we can. And then 10 years, we're going to look at replacing all of it. That's just things that we need to discuss. I mean, is the green grass at the splash pad, is that everybody's like, and I'm a lawn guy. I mean, so sometimes the lawn's probably a little above and beyond maybe what it could be, but that's what I push for the guys, is to keep it cut good, keep it looking good. I mean, but there's a time we can maybe not spend as much money in that. We have a small parks budget of $10,000, so we can only do so much.
I think we're talking mainly here, not so much policy, Stu, Betsy and I, as how the budget's approved. You know what I mean? A lot of good questions. I think we should discuss them. This is stuff that you guys call the shots on, isn't it?
No. You bring up the point.
We have the money.
It's the expectations.
What's the expectation?
We are clear on the budget for this year, where, perfect example, disc. You're gonna hit the disc course maybe twice.
Yeah.
That's it. Make sure you three know that, so when you have citizens calling that, why ain't the disc course mowed? We're only hitting it spring and midsummer, then we're done.
So
So as long as we're clear on your expectations, because now if you're saying, no, I want that damn thing cut every week,
we can't.
then me and him are coming back to you saying, we need to
We can
quadruple our
highly
budget.
encourage you, but we can't say
But you
that.
can say that's what you would like, and then we could give you the number that supports it.
And that's operations. You hate me saying that word, but
It is.
at this point, you can tell us to take a flying leap off a short dock.
Right.
You
I
know what
can,
I'm saying?
but
I see your point of this is the end of the operations, but I see his point on what's the priority, what's the guidance, like, we can, yeah, like you said, he can tell us to jump ship anytime, but
we
he's
could,
trying to be respectful, and what's our opinion?
Oh, we always got the next budget cycle. We could.
Yeah, no,
line
it's,
and drive it
you know,
anyway.
we can set the standards.
Right.
Yeah,
Or at least have the discussion
start
so that
point,
we're
and then
aware.
We're putting numbers together to support what we think that means.
And then we're aware,
Yes.
that way, yeah.
If
somebody
you guys
calls
are
and
fine,
complains,
yeah, you guys are fine with the playground equipment having a few chips and not being painted yearly, then that helps us understand we don't gotta buy paint every year, we buy it every other year. That's a budget thing.
Let's get
But if you
to
want
it.
a pristine looking playground every year, then that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah,
That's the guidance.
I'm more worried about who's picking up the litter from the south end of the northbound dog than I am anything else. And to me, the parks are there not to be looked at, but to be used, and they're being used. And the most important thing you can do is pick up the litter and mow the lawns.
I think
Yes.
we've tried to hit that geese situation.
Well, we'll see how this year it goes, but no, it's just knowing our left and right limits, so Ben and I can sit down and look at the numbers and see, do we need to come to budget time with a bigger number? Hence you guys arguing for it to the full board. Because we've seen how that pushback comes with how much money do you really want to spend on parks?
Okay. Any correspondence received?
Nothing on parks, no.
Question, and I'm all loud. How's the ice skating rink? I've seen people down
It's
there.
been busy, honestly. We finally finished up the painting, the inside shelters completely done, inside the bathrooms are repainted, the inside of the warming thing is all done, repainted, so that's definitely cleaned up in the ice. We flooded about half a dozen times. We're gonna do it again, but it's been good, it's been busy. Every night I drive by and it was 20 below, there was 2 or 3 people, so I think it's definitely worth going. No damage on the inside, everything's been really good, and nothing but good things. The only big thing was on the weekend, last Friday night, it snowed, and I got a couple calls, well, you guys gonna snow blow the skating rink? And I said, we don't call people in the weekend
Weekends for that.
to snow blow the skating rink. I mean,
To leave a shovel out.
there's always a shovel there, but I mean, that was my,
I put my boy on it and you're there.
yeah, I mean, that was
Shovel stuff.
my only
Well, Isaac,
thing that I heard is, why don't you clean the ponds on the weekend? And that's always been not a policy, always been our theory that we don't, we talked about earlier, we thought, we don't clear the pond on the weekends, so.
Is somebody checking on a regular basis?
Yep, I go down there pretty much
Staff.
once a day,
Okay.
so. They've been down there painting, so they've been down there every day working.
I'm glad to know there has been any.
It's honestly, it's good.
Bruce from Sacred Heart have come up and used it instead of going
Yeah.
down to Coosa because they like the warming house, you know.
It's open all the time. It's
More like
well lit.
that, and it's
Yeah.
more, and a lot of these people are in their 40s, 50s, and it kind of is basic cash. It's just like we used to go down to Devil's Elbow in the backwater, you know, and skate and being out in the woods and stuff, so.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, next meeting date, February 24th at 4 o'clock. I will declare this meeting adjourned at 4:30.
Could you repeat that?